Hey, what's happening guys? I'm ika.himee and welcome to my channel, and I am going to be doing some watercolor painting today. I am working with a combination of Holbein, Daniel Smith, and Dr. P.H. Martin's watercolors. I do not know which is which. The only ones I know for sure are the Dr. P.H. Martin's, because I actually have to go in and get them out of the little squeezy bottle. Those are the only ones I know for sure. Everything else, they're kind of just in the palette and they're just colors, and I mix them as I go and I figure out later, or I don't. I do know which each color is, but I would have to check my swatch sheet to be able to tell, but I do have documentation of which, colors they are and all that. Yeah, but I'm just really trying to figure out these watercolors and how to apply them to drawing people. They work very great for drawing like landscapes and nature and all that stuff. So I don't do that very much, so I'm really trying to work on getting down how all the color mixing is and how I can work with them so that I can apply them to people in a way that satisfies me. And for the clothing, I use Dr. P.H. Martin's, and the color blooming is a bit different from what I was expecting. It works a lot like an ink, and it blooms with like different colors, so it's not all just like one pigment. So when I was doing the shading blooms, it just kind of like bloomed into like purple color around the edge instead of like blue, and it was very interesting. I think it's a cool effect, but it was definitely something that I wasn't expecting. So if that's something that would bother you, I guess, in your watercolors, I would not recommend getting Dr. P.H. Martin's concentrated watercolor. But if you like colorful stuff and you really like the paint just kind of doing its own thing, then it's probably a good tool for you to try out. But yeah, so I really don't have much to say about this piece in general, and I'm working in a Strathmore watercolor sketchbook, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out my materials and my characters and stuff like that. And I've decided that this year I would really like to fill up this watercolor sketchbook, like officially. So I'm probably not going to show everything that's in this watercolor sketchbook, because I kind of want to save it for like a tour at the end, I guess, where I just kind of like show you all what's inside of the watercolor sketchbook. So I don't know how long that'll take, but I've had this sketchbook for like a little while, like a couple years, I guess. So some of the art in the beginning is a bit old, and in fact, like the first page is featured in my art book, Unreality, which you can still grab in my shop. You should be able to, at least. I am letting some of my listings expire, like I'm not keeping track of them anymore because I'm kind of considering closing down my Etsy shop. The fees are getting to be too much for me to handle, and I'm just not really feeling the Etsy platform anymore, and I think that it would be better for me to just drop it and save the money, because I don't really make enough to make having the Etsy worth it. So I'm just kind of letting stuff expire. So if there's something that you specifically want, then I would recommend checking that out pretty soon, because I really can't tell you when each listing is going to expire. So if you were interested in getting the art book, I would check that out as soon as possible. And if you want an enamel pin and acrylic charms or anything like that, all of that stuff is available as well. So you can check all of that out while you're there. Yeah. But this is my character, Akane. She is from a story that doesn't have an official name yet, mostly because I can't really decide on how I want to say the title. I don't know if that makes sense. I had a working title for a while, but I felt like the title itself was just kind of, it didn't really work. It was kind of dumb, and the definitions kind of were lost on it, so I'm just trying to figure out what to name it, but I'm not even working on this story right now. I did a lot of work on it, and then I kind of left it behind because I ran into a brick wall, and I haven't really looked at it since then, I guess. But this is like a side character. She's not the main character, but she's very pretty and fun to draw. And she's probably you know, out of the characters that I have, aside from the main characters and like a couple other characters, she's probably one of the most developed characters in the story so far. There are a few other characters in there that really I haven't done much character work on yet, since I've been so focused on getting the story written. But I kind of took a break to work on Belladonna, which hopefully I'll have done this year, so I, you know, can kind of put that project behind me and get back to work on this one, which I really am excited to do. But yeah, so I originally started doing this because I was thinking about redesigning her, because I thought maybe I could go for like the cuter, like goth lolly aesthetic, and then I started drawing her and I realized that I just liked her original design best, and I didn't want to go with the, you know, typical cute whatever thing, so I just kind of went with this type of character again. And the two drawings are the same character, but she's not supposed to look exactly the same. On the left, she's supposed to look a bit younger, and I'm trying to figure out how to draw her in a way that she looks younger and different from how she typically does, since that is something that I will have to do throughout the story. But I was kind of going for like a 12 to 13-year-old range for her on the left, and on the right is kind of how she would normally look, and she's like around the 20s range. So that's kind of like the struggle that I'm working with here. I was trying to figure it out. But yeah, so her hair, it's white. It's supposed to be white or like silvery or something. I'm not 100% settled on it, but it is supposed to be very light, and I don't know if people can really tell because of all of the colors that I used to shade her hair. But I find that coloring white hair just like gray is a bit boring, so I don't like doing that. And I typically keep things pretty colorful when I do watercolor, so yeah, that's that's pretty much it. I don't know if, you know, that color translated very well, if anyone would be able to notice, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to subscribe to be updated every time I post a new video. Links to my social media shop and Patreon are in the description box below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!